Hi there and welcome back to the channel. And today on the bench is a Mitsubishi CT-1505BR, which I got from the mother load of CRT pickups, literally just today actually. And this is the first video I'm going to do out of all the 5 TVs I got. This is just such a lovely design and aesthetic on it. It's got a very glary screen on here, but also it's very filthy. Yeah, it's a fantastic 80s design. Let's just move it around. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's sort of about 80, 81, 82, 83, something like that. It does have a remote control. There's the remote control. And you've got all the channels, volume, and off and timer. It's even got a timer on it. Wow, might be about 85 then, I would have thought. So 84, 85. It's got some wear on the buttons and wear at the top here as well. It could be a high hour set. It really could be. The screen actually looks pretty free of scratches. I believe the screen does actually come out. Does it come out? Yeah, there we go. Actually, it's glass. That's glass. Wow, look at that. Yeah, that's actually glass. This is a glass, not a plastic. So yeah, and it's not even smoked as well. So it's not like these smoked 70s things. Which you end up cranking up the screen brightness so you can see anything. Little speaker here. On this side, you've got. Let me just put that down there. You've got a channel presets and tuning, and then you've got some pots for contrast, brightness. Looks like vertical and horizontal hold, colour and stuff like that. In fact, there might even be one missing. Actually, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's actually one broken off somewhere, but we can sort that. We can do that. IR sensor here. Just a lovely set. You've got a little ear for a headphone there. On the back here, we've got just RF, and that's pretty much it. Mitsubishi color receiver, CT-1505BM, 240 volts, 50 Hz, 70 watts. For British UHF standard only, so it was a UK-based, UK-specific model. Got a whole load of kanji characters here, which are on that. You've got a aerial which is not connected in, so I'll just put that in there like that. The aerial's a bit manky, that will probably disappear. On this side, not much else, that's it. It's just a lovely little design. It's so clean and tidy. Yeah, so yeah, we've got the glass here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a clean up. I don't really want to handle this because it's been in a fairly difficult environment. So what I want to do is I want to clean up the glass in this and so forth. Glass cleaner, Windex in the States, but yeah, glass cleaner here. And we're just going to give it a quick wipe down and a clean up, just to so I don't get so grubby. I'm using a microfiber cloth. I think we're not going to power it up immediately. We're going to see whether I've got a connection from the CRT tube tester, which I don't even know whether it will whether I've got something. Yeah, it's reasonably grubby. Let's move that glass out of the way. Give the power cord a clean. I also want to check this socket as well, this plug. I should say, not a socket. And also check the cable, because where this was stored, cables were laying free and could be damaged and all sorts, so I want to make sure that there's no shorts or any problems. Cable looks original. Yeah, that's quite grubby. We're going to do the glass next, and I want to actually. I'm actually going to leave the glass off. I'm going to put this glass over there, out the way. We don't need it for what we're doing here, and it just keeps it safe, and I'll clean that up later. So, let's take this area off. We do not need this area whatsoever, and that can go. Right, let's check the socket. Make sure it's safe. It's not brilliant. It's not brilliant. So I'm just going to quickly redo this socket. So I should say plug, not socket. I keep on getting that wrong. Plug sorted, not socket, plug. 13 amp fuse is a bit high, but that's fine for now. We're just sort of testing things. Let's see whether we have a hard short at all. Yep, that's fine. Yep, we've got a noise. No hard short. And then, no, that's absolutely fine. So I feel confident actually plugging this in as it stands. Let's put that there. Plug done. Next, we're going to have a look inside and actually see what's going on in there. Whether there's any damage or anything like that. I have a feeling this is a high hour set. Right, let's have a look inside. Oh, okay, yeah, right. The cable is actually attached. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to have to take this out. I think we take this and then that. That comes out like that. Interesting design. So, I don't know whether you can see or not, but there's a lot of dust at the bottom there, so it has been used quite a bit, this TV. Let's just make that there. There we go. Warning, this chassis is live, so it's a live chassis set. It is absolutely covered in fluff. This has been used a lot. This has been used a lot. Let me get you and have a look down inside here. So we've got control board and RF and everything on that side. The main power board on this side. Yeah, that's all the incoming power supplies, I think. And then we've got the high voltage board at the bottom, and as you can see, it is filthy. It is absolutely filthy. Around the anode cap here is also quite filthy. So okay, we've got here A36JGJJG. I can't even get that right. A36JJG10X01. So I'm going to have a quick look at and see whether I've got the actual connector for that. It's a fairly wide connector points here. So, but also it's quite a narrow necked tube. It's very, very narrow. So the electron guns down here that's a really narrow neck. It's also a very small yoke as well. It's quite surprisingly how narrow that yoke is. Let me get a brush. Let me move my tea out of the way. Here we go. So we've got a brush. Can we see in there? Let me just zoom in. It's difficult to see. They look a little bit brownish inside there, so yes, I think it has got a fairly high amount of hours on it. It's pretty dusty and dirty, and I think a lot of this has actually been attracted under the through static from the high voltage, rather than just being dust that's dropped in. Now, when I went to the RMC cave, I took my dim bulb setup, which I usually have all connected over here. Just before when I disconnected it all and put it on here, the RCD or something, basically it tripped my electrics, and I checked it and everything all seemed fine. I thought, well, and I also did it and it was fine. It was working. The RCD was working fine. It tripped it once and then it was fine afterwards. When I was at the RMC cave and I was demonstrating, it actually tripped out the electrics, and I think what it is, it's the actual RCD itself. This RCD was second-hand to me. It came with my house, and yeah, I basically repurposed it and it's been fine for 2 years, and I think it finally gave out. So what I've done is I've actually taped that over so we don't use it, and I've basically bypassed the RCD for this circuit. So now the mains comes in, as you can see the actual mains is on, the mains comes in and it then goes to the load, to the bulb, and then to the socket, and then back out again. So it bypasses the RCD for now, and I need to get a new one. There's a fuse on the plug there, so that's fine. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. It'll just trip out at my consumer box. But I do want to run with an RCD. I find that a useful benefit there. So yeah, what I'm going to do is literally just have a quick look round there. It all is it's all big high voltage stuff. The capacitors look okay-ish. It's difficult to see what's going on that board down here. I don't think this has been powered up. I think it's just been stuck in a storage facility for months on end. So yeah, it is really, really filthy and horrible down there. And you've actually got capacitors, if you look very carefully. Let's see whether I can get a screwdriver. Just there's a capacitor completely covered. Yeah, there's a capacitor's completely covered in fluff. So I wanted to see whether I've got the I can test it using the CRT tester. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm just going to stop for a second. For you, it's not going to, but that's the joys of editing. So I'm just going to go and check the whether I've got the actual adapter for this, and let's see whether we can actually test the tube. Okay, checking the manual, A36JJGG01X, 6.3 volts, socket number 31. I don't have socket number 31. I don't think so. So I think we might have to skip the tube test and see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to just double check and see whether I've got something which actually does it, but I don't think so. The Hitachi CTP I was working on, I think it was 31. But did I have one for that? I can't remember. Right, okay, let me go and just double check. Okay, so this was one I made, and it does actually fit the end of the tube. I think, and I did actually build this myself for the Hitachi, so I think that will work. I'm happy to have a go. What else can I do? It'll blow it up. Yeah, I've got 4 other TVs to try. So yes, I'm actually going to put that on the end there, very gently, and I'm going to get the CRT tester down. Okay, so I've got the tube tester here. I've just used a drill box with a drill in it just to make sure it doesn't go backwards. It is connected. I am sure that I did that correctly. I am damn sure, because I think I did use it on the Hitachi and I got good results out of that one. And that was socket 31. So, okay, this is 6.3 volts. It's going to be a G1 volts of 50. There's no sign that it's different. Let's put it on normal. G2 game on normal. Heater volts down, that down to there. Set G1. All of these set down because I used them yesterday at the RMC cave. Let's set up. Okay. So set heater voltage. Oh, okay, that's 4 volts. I've actually got to set it to 4 to 7. There we go. That's a bit better. So we'll do that. 6.3. Then we're going to set the G1 to 50. Ooh, 50 about there. There's a very faint amount of heat, nothing too much. Line voltage is about 100 volts, that's fine. So let's see whether we've got any cutoff. And then we then set the cutoff. There's no cutoff. No cutoff whatsoever. Okay, let's try high. No cutoff whatsoever. So I'm not entirely sure whether this is correct or not. Yeah, it might not be. I don't really want to actually do a test with that. So it could be the wrong connector. So I'm not going to go much further than this. So let's switch this off. I don't really want to blow it up just for the hell of it. Okay, we're going to skip that because that isn't working. It's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, let's move on to actually seeing whether we can get the dim bulb tester to actually power this up. I think. If I'm not getting any cut off, it either means that the tube is completely stone dead, or the connections are wrong. So yeah, okay, let's leave it at that, and I'll just shift this lot out of the way, and then we'll get on to the main thing of actually seeing this powering up and seeing what happens. But yeah, my gut instinct is not to put it on test. So yeah, let's move on to trying to power this thing up. So before I power it on, what I want to do is just clear some of this dust out. And so I'm just going to go and get the Hoover, the vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to use a brush and just try to get rid of some of this dust. I'm afraid my dogs don't like the sound of the Hoover, so yeah, they've just run out the door. Okay, let's see. Oh, they're back in again. Oh, okay, whatever. Right, let's. Okay, so one thing I do notice immediately is there seems to be some burning. I'll bring you in closer so you can see it. Right, if you look at that white wire just there, it's been touching up against that large resistor here. So I think, yeah, that has been arcing, or it's been doing something. So I'm just going to move these two resistors over a little bit. Now I'm very confident. Sorry, there we go. Sorry. So this here has been arcing a bit because that resistor there is so close to that cable. So I'm just going to move the resistor over just a tad. Let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. In fact, it is, no matter what I do, it seems to be. Yeah, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I am quite confident that this TV is inert. It's not got any charge left in there because, yes, where it's come from, I am damn sure that they haven't been powered up. Yeah, there we go. So let me just zoom back out. Okay, so I'm just going to put the neck board back on. Just going to put that power wall back in like that. Now I'm just going to go and make a cup of tea. So I'll have a nice hot cup of tea so I can watch the sparks fly when this actually kicks off. Okay, so I've got my tea, so I'll have a quick glug. Let's see what happens. I've got a 100-watt bulb in here. I don't have the RCD, but I've got fuses. That's absolutely fine. What I am going to check is just check with this fuse. Let's just make sure that it's actually good. I haven't actually checked it, to be perfectly frank. So let's quickly check this fuse just to make sure that it's all right. Do we get it? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. The plug is a bit crap. The terminals are quite dull, so I probably will change the plug. So, and the big moment. Let's just move that like that. Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure that you get as much of a view as possible without me getting in the way. Yep. So, plug checked. It's been cleaned out just in case it catches fire. Unlike Shangu, I like to actually work on stuff which my hands don't get really grubby. I love watching his videos and watching how he does it, but my technique is to actually give it a very light clean up just so I don't catch something. Right, here we go. That's off, I hope. Should be on load. So what should happen is that this bulb should get bright and then slowly dim out, and then the TV will try to power up if everything's working on it. And I'll be watching the watt meter to see how much wattage is actually pulling. Here we go. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Right, watt meter booting up. That's 0 watts. So yes, so the switch is not on, but it is going to be on right. It's trying to pull over 100 watts. Yeah. And there's clicking going on. Okay, so it's probably about right actually, about 140 watts on startup to reform the capacitors. It's a shame that the actual power supply is just resetting. And it's probably actually also the degaussing. Has this got degaussing? Yeah, it's the degaussing coil. So I might actually just let it run and let's see what happens. No. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to see whether I can detach the degaussing circuit just for now. Where is it? Where does it go to? It's probably fairly... Now I'm just going to change. Now that the power has been applied, I'm just going to put some gloves on. If you are working on CRTs, please wear gloves. It will save you. Okay, so power's off. Where does the degaussing coil go to? This is just horizontal and vertical deflection and high voltage power for the tube. I would have thought it would have been on this side, but yeah, that's it. Right, okay. There we are. So that's the degaussing coil detached. So that should stop it from pulling 150 watts. For now, turn on. 1, 2, 3. No, that's not it. That is not it. Do that. It's more like a car indicator, isn't it? It's that relay up there. There we go. Oh, I felt that. Yeah. Oh, I felt that. That made me jump. Right, okay. There we go. So, do we have 5 volt voltage? Power's on. Lights on. I think there is static. Are we seeing anything at all? We've got a picture. We have a picture. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Right, let's power off. I'm going to put you into 50 Hertz mode rather than 60 so that you can actually see what's going on. We've managed to battle the capacitors reforming and also the actual degaussing circuits plugged back in. So what was happening, that clicking was the power supply tripping as it was overloading, and it eventually came in. My thoughts were that actually just let it keep on tripping just a while, just to see whether there's actually a change in the frequency of the tripping, not chipping, of the actual, and again the relay on the power supply was actually, you could actually feel it. I can even, you could hear it and feel it. Eventually what happened was that there was, the current had reduced and then the power supply started and then it started powering up the set. So let's try again. Come on. There we go. So this is using a 100-watt bulb. That is actually still quite bright, but it's dimming slowly. This picture should start to come in. We've got sound, and we have a picture of sorts. So yeah, the bulb is very slowly getting dimmer. This hasn't been powered on in ages. Absolutely ages. Yeah, That's fine. So, just want to let that run for a little while. Let the capacitors just reform just a little bit. Any magic smoke? No, we are. Really nice. Really, really, really nice. Hear the static. This is trying to pull. This is a 70 watt TV. That's 100 watts. So yeah, that's about right. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to switch it off, turn on the bypass, and we're going to give it full mains voltage. Here we go. Bypass. Go for it. And we have full deflection. Look at that, we've got a lovely full deflection. Right, let me hook up and see whether we can get a video source. So I'm just going to turn it off for now. Let's see whether we can tune this in. There we go. Focus looks a bit odd. When you get static like this, it's actually a really useful indicator because you can see how sharp the static is, which gives you a focus indication. Or if there's any convergence problems where red and green and blue issues around the outside. So, okay, tuning. What channel are we on? Let's do one. Tuning on, yeah, okay, so you've got to push that in. Something's happening. We're getting a 1U at the bottom here, and it seems to be moving down. I don't think you can see that, yeah. No, that's outside of its range. Let's just hold it down. I'm going back down the range. It's drawing 48 watts right now. This is very slow. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Oh, we have a picture. That's a tuning, yeah. Colours look good. I actually do get content matches against this, and I don't mind. I'd rather have this than the basic patterns. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it goes into like a fine tune. That'll do for now. That'll do for now. We're just trying to get the thing working. I think one of the controls has broken off inside there, or it's a slightly different. You have to use an adjuster. Let's listen to the volume.
Hello, Doctor.
Wow, that works. Oh, we've got a sharpness control. Colour. Turn it down a bit. So we've got colour, we've got sharpness control. Yeah, so that's sharp, that's like that. Yeah. That is impressive. You could tell this had not been powered up in a long time. A long time. Just the way it was acting. So, okay, let's... There we go. Wow. Absolute wow. Apart from cleaning, I've had to do absolutely nothing. Brilliant. This is going to get a recap. There's no doubt about it. I really like the aesthetics of this set. It's well worth restoring and doing something with it. It's a little soft, but I noticed that the tuning helped. So if I actually turn the tuning on, so yeah, I need to check whether that's actually broken off or whether that's actually, because there's a little. Let me just let me get you down, let me show you. So if you can see, we've got the brightness, you've got contrast, sharpness, colour and vertical hold. And the hole for the brightness, sorry, yes, brightness, that's contrast, that's brightness, seems to be missing, but the actual hole is different. So it might mean that you have to use a little screwdriver just to set it. I don't know. And again, you've got the tuning, which is just a little switch there. Tuning up and down, AFT, and I believe that's actually an off, but without switching that power off. I'm not smelling anything. I'm really, really surprised actually that this is looking so good. So I think it's time to clean that glass. Let's get the full effect. It's actually quite nice without it, but anyway, groove. Oh yeah, that's junky. I'll do.
Nothing seems to be working properly here. I found the oxygen supply. Well done.
I thought I heard clicks from the back.
No good, Harry. No, okay. Why is nothing functioning here?
Let's...
Can we smash our way out? What? Without there? I got nothing to this, Harry. I've got enough puff to argue with you. But lie down and conserve the oxygen while I do what I can. That's all. What? These cables have been
There we go. With the glass on, quite glary. Wow. Okay. Let's turn this round. One of the great things, I sort of, at the talk, I mentioned about having a carpet tile because it's so easy, because you can move the set around without actually touching it at all. Very useful. Right, and I do need to stop it because it's actually touching the board is actually touching the mat now, so I need to sort that. The board is quite bowed under its weight, so it's possible it actually is held up by the cover. So the horizontal, vertical, and high voltage circuits are all on a small board, and the board is starting to bow down a little bit. So yeah, it's not that strong. So now this shouldn't take too long to power up.
Looks like it. The interesting question is why? Clearly deliberate.
Only old girl again.
Yeah, that's lovely and clear. Okay, let me just bring down the ISO. There we go. That was a little bit high. That is a cracking picture. Let's do that. Turn the light off. See what happens. Look at that! Wow, you can tell it's a tube that's been used, and you can also tell that it's got plenty of hours on it, but by God, does that look good. Considering this came from where it came from, I am so surprised. I am so surprised. It's a little bit fuzzier. It's all to do with the tuning. When it goes into tuning, it shifts it a little bit. So let's try. Yeah. So you can turn off the auto frequency, and it's shifting the actual frequency and making it a bit blurred. What an absolute find. Let's turn the volume up. Right, I think we put a test DVD in. Ooh, turn that down. Okay, what do I see? The vertical linearity is excellent. We've got some issues, and I'm not going to use the screwdriver, I'll use this. Just here, we've got power supply issues, which is what these lines often produce. I've seen coming off of that that bar, you sometimes get distortion. Reddish very strong, green is very strong, blue's a little weaker. The frequency response is good. The color balance is excellent. Sorry, color balance. The luminance is excellent. To the white, to the black. Next. Wow, this is just come essentially from a junk area. You know, this is you can see it's been absolutely used to death. But look at how strong that is. That's, yeah, there's a little bit of pin cushioning, reverse pin cushioning. So rather than bowing inwards, it's bowing outwards a little bit. That's fine. There's a little bit of tuning issues there, which I might just redo the tuning. Bring that in. That's a bit better. Not bad. Really, really not bad. I'm still going to do a full recap of this. There's a little bit of darkness up here. I think that's the degaussing's not, a bit of magnetic distortion just up here. We'll soon see when we get to that. Okay, so the purity. I can see very faint distortions at the top two. The bottom, look, that one there looks, yeah, there's a little bit there. And that's fine down there. Green is strong, very strong indeed. Blue's pretty good. Yeah, you can see just in the camera you're seeing like a moire pattern here. That's not on the telly. That's to do with the camera. But over here there's a very faint darkness. There's a very faint darkness over here, and there's one there, but nothing really down there. So again, I think this just either needs degaussing, or the degaussing needs to run a few times. The built-in one. What a cracking little set. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Apart from tuning it, I think it's waking up. I think it's getting warm. I can hear clicking and cracking behind, but not electronic stuff. It's just plastics moving. The classic BBC test pattern. Test pattern D or E, something like that. I think that's SMTPE something anyway. As you can see here, you can see the frequency response gets to about there. So I think that's half, 1, 2, 3 megahertz, something like that. Could be 4. And as you can see here, you can tell from there, it says 1.5 up there, you can see. 2, you can still see. 3 is sort of, yeah, 2.5, you can still see the lines. 1 here. This is really useful because you can actually, again, see what the frequency response, and it's just tailing off on 3. You can see the lines, but not by much. So yeah, it's about 3 megahertz response. Apart from a bit of degaussing needed, the purities, yeah, okay, you've got a lot of issues, but the convergence is bang on, absolutely bang on. Let's go back to the convergence. So the linearity is pretty good. So all the boxes look about the same height all the way down. There's no distortion. There's a little bit of just sort of curving on the thing. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Now, don't worry about the jittering up and down. That's all to do with the camera and the CCD in the camera. But there's very faint hooking at the bottom of the lines going on to the next ones. But it's generally pretty good. Need to find out about that contrast. That'll help. And again, these are great because great big blocks. You can actually sort of see. It gives you a when it goes from black to white, whether actually the power supply is struggling to actually go from black to white, and it causes the blocks to sort of disfigure, or if there's hooking. But that is absolutely bang on. That's absolutely bang on. I'm going to put the Arkin space back on and let that run. I want to see whether I can actually clean up this remote control and get the remote control working. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some isopropanol, alcohol, and some Q-tip cotton buds, whatever you call them, depending on part of the world you're in. I'm just going to clean up. It looks like there's a load of crap and stuff on the connections. Okay. So, one battery. No, I've just got the battery. And so no sign of any life in the remote control. Okay, what I can do is I can take this apart. It looks like actually it comes apart relatively easily, and I can check that out and see what I get. If I just rotate the batteries in there, sometimes that will help. Yeah, so I think I need to do a service on this remote control. You could probably not get another one. They'll be so rare. It'll be an amazingly rare thing. I think the only reason it did survive was somebody put it back in there, and somebody thought that it was actually the flap on here on the TV has exactly the same writing as on the actual back of the remote control. So when you put the remote control in, it just does the same thing. So somebody might have thought, oh, it's just a remote control set, not realizing that actually the remote control goes in there like that. Cosmetically, it's fine from about there upwards. Sorry, from there downwards. But I'll show you what issues. Now, it's got issues with the controls here and the on-off button and so on, and round the edges. Okay, but then at the top here, this is silver, but this is white, and this is where things have rubbed on top of the television and along the edges. So what I'm thinking of is a way of actually sort of so you've got a little bit on the sides here as well. So actually respraying that whole section here, which will then sort out around there, and then take the buttons out, and then respray them, and then just draw in symbols. So CH and let's see if I can get in there. There we go. It should be like something like CH for channel, and then volume, and then on, or something like that. I might try and see whether I can research and find out what was on there. So that would then be done. Yeah, so I could mask off certain parts of it. Yeah, but I definitely can do something with this, and it will be certainly worth attempting it. It's getting that finish. It's getting that sort of lovely glossy finish, which will be interesting. I need to research into that, what I can do. So I think capacitor replacement, cosmetic cleanup, and this is going to be a really nice little set. I'm really pleased to have this in my collection, and this will be great with. I'm trying to think of what computer would be really good with this. Maybe an Amstrad CPC or an Atari or something like that. Yeah, I'm really pleased. Really pleased. So I'm going to do a lot more restoration on this. So there's going to be at least another video, maybe 2 out of this TV. I've still got another 4 to do. Oh, wow. And yeah, so there's going to be a bit more. I'm going to do a capacitor replacement, go through that. I'm going to let this run for a while and let it warm up and settle down and see if anything happens. I'm also going to give the back of the case a clean out as well while I'm here. Yeah, dead chuffed, absolutely dead chuffed with this. This is really nice. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. If you like this type of content, please click the like button, and I will see you on the next video.